part of Sting's final match. What did that mean for you? We got to see you out in the ring with him, but talk to me about some of that.
Well, it was, I think, the most exciting and the best night I've ever had in wrestling. Renee, I grew up as a huge Sting fan, and to be here tonight in the Greensboro Coliseum, I felt like it was the right place at the right time. When I talked to Sting about when he wanted to go out and how he wanted to go out, it felt like this was the right time, the right place, and I feel like we've just done everything perfectly. It was a perfect night, and top to bottom, I thought it was AEW's best show. The build and the way we got to the pay-per-view, I thought it was the best show we've ever done. And top to bottom, it was a perfect night, and you couldn't have asked for anything better, which is perfect because we wanted to give Sting a perfect send-off, and I think we did that. He's such a great person, and he's had this amazing career. And to think back years ago, maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, who would have ever thought this was going to be possible where we got tonight? I mean, you know, I certainly, in 2020, when Sting first reached out to me, I was really hoping to give him a great run. I didn't know it would be quite this long, and it's been amazing. It's been everything we wanted to do, top to bottom. It's exactly what I think we were, exactly what we were looking for. And honestly, you know, it wasn't like Sting's a political person. Sting's not a political animal or anything like that. He's definitely a very giving person, and he wants to give and give and give in pro wrestling. So it wasn't like when he came in, he had ever pushed to have an undefeated run. It wasn't like he ever tried to take the spotlight or wanted it. And it was really something I felt very strongly about from the very beginning, the idea of Sting coming back and having this run and giving him the undisputed spotlight and really give him the best run ever in AEW. Sting went out undefeated. When you look back, every match he ever had, Sting and Darby won. And it really built to a great moment in Phoenix when Sting and Darby won the championship, and that could have been it. But then, of course, it led to the setup for what I thought was the best send-off ever in pro wrestling, what we did tonight for Sting. And Sting put himself in that position to totally put himself through 30 matches, 29 in AEW plus 1 in Japan. 30 matches in 3 years. The greatest comeback ever, I think, in sports. And for Sting to go out there, I believe at 64 years old, and we can say it now, you know, he said time caught up to him, but I don't think it did. I think if it was getting close, I think Sting outran time and finished on top. And tonight was timeless and perfect in every way. So thank you very much for asking.
Yeah, thank you for giving us that. It was incredible to watch. Very emotional out there. Let's take some questions from you guys. I know that there's...
We'll have to duck under here. Steve Fall from Wrestling News Co. How are you, Tony?
Great, Steve. I'm fantastic. Never been better.
Never been better. That's awesome to hear. Now, you're adding more pay-per-views, but tonight was on a Sunday. In December, World's End was on a Saturday. Is there a strategy towards Saturday and Sunday pay-per-views? Why?
That was an obvious choice, I thought, because Saturday was December 30th and Sunday was December 31st. And I thought probably you're better off doing the pay-per-view on December 30th versus December 31st, which is, of course, New Year's Eve everywhere in the world.
Well,
so
previous to that, though, you've done it before, too.
That's one holiday we all celebrate.
Yes, of course.
And except, well, I shouldn't say that. Not everybody has the same calendar, but that is one holiday that many of us celebrate, right? And many of the pay-per-view buying countries on the calendar certainly celebrate New Year's Eve. So I thought that was a pretty good choice. And also, looking at the NFL schedule, of course, is a big factor in it. So the Saturday-Sunday thing, definitely, to me, it's like I do it on a situational basis. You see more Sunday pay-per-views outside of NFL season, and then we kind of pick our spots and go with the better night, depending on not just the competition, the availability of the arenas, you know, but generally I try to go against the NFL as little as possible because it's the greatest media conglomerate in the world, of which I'm very fortunate to be a part.
Thank you. Denise Salcedo, Instinct Culture. So my question is, Sting and Darby, they retained AEW Tag Team Champions still. So what does that mean for the titles moving forward?
What a great question. I was hoping somebody would ask it, or I was just going to go on a dialogue about it and give a monologue, but I'll leave those to Timeless Tony Storm. Very excited about the run of Sting and what he and Darby have done as a tag team here in AEW. Sting and Darby will be the tag team champions coming out of Revolution, with Sting retiring. We are going to vacate the AEW World Tag Team Championship. So going forward, there will be a tournament. I'll talk more about that. We'll have more to reveal, but there'll be a lot of exciting tournaments. There'll be more than one bracket to fill out in March. I know I love filling out my March Madness brackets. March Madness coming up on TBS and TNT, those great channels, and perfect cross-promotional opportunity to have our own bracket madness here in AEW here in March. And we'll have a big tag team tournament coming up on TBS and TNT across the AEW TV shows coming up in March. But just wanted to take a moment and celebrate Sting and Darby. I think, like I said, I think Sting's comeback is the greatest comeback ever. And the run they've had these past 3 years, from Revolution 2021 through Revolution 2024, like I said, 30 matches, 30-0, 29-0 in AEW. They did, and Great Muta's send-off. I thought it was really fitting that our great friends in New Japan Pro Wrestling provided us with great footage, and we were able to incorporate that. That included footage of Sting wrestling against Muta and teaming with Muta against the Road Warriors, which I thought was really cool. And for Sting to be able to win the AEW World Tag Team Championship and then successfully defend it, and also successfully defend the honor of his family, and go out in his own way, celebrating and on his own terms in front of his people. It was one of the greatest nights and one of the greatest things I've ever been a part of. And I just wanted to reiterate again, like, Sting's not the kind of person that would pull for this. He didn't want the championships. And then when we got involved, when we saw it was a good story, then he really sank his teeth into it, and he had great ideas. But it's not like Sting's fighting to be a champion. It's not like Sting ever fought for the undefeated run. He's one of the most unselfish people, and I think that's shown time and time and time in his career, right? And I think at times, frankly, people have taken advantage of his kindness. And I think what's great about Sting, and what was great about AEW, when he arrived here, he got introduced to a new environment. And talk about somebody coming to life in a new environment. Sting became a whole new level of a daredevil than he'd ever been in his whole career. He did more crazy dives off balconies, ladders, more crazy things in the past 3 years in AEW than he had done in the prior 30-plus years combined. Over 35 years of wrestling before that combined. I don't think he had done that much crazy stuff. And AEW, and in particular Darby Allin, rubbed off on him. And if there's one thing I'm really proud of, it's everything we did to get to this night. I said to Tony Schiavone and Darby and a lot of other people backstage, I feel like a lot of us were maybe put on earth, like the stars aligned for us all to be here to do this for Sting tonight. And if we do one thing, like, in our whole lives, getting this right was the right place at the right time. It was awesome. And so that's the championships. And also now with Sting retired, Darby Allin, one of the greatest wrestlers in the AEW, and I think in AEW's history. And he'll also have a lot to look forward to. Coming up at AEW Big Business in Boston, it will be Darby Allin versus Jay White, one-on-one for the first time ever. So thank you all for coming to Greensboro, and you can break some news officially announcing it to you here for the first time ever. Darby Allin versus Jay White in Boston 10 days from now at AEW Big Business on TBS. And Darby's not going to slow down, but he's been instrumental in this, and along with thanking Sting for everything, Darby Allin has been, like I said, not just a great influence on Sting and a great tag team partner, and he's had Sting's back every step of the way, but I don't think all these great matches and all these great nights would have been possible without him. And I'm very fortunate to have a great wrestler like that in AEW. We all are. And Darby and Sting, great tag team champions first and foremost for the rest of tonight. And then after that, going into this coming week, we'll worry about the tag team championships in the tournament. But there will be a tournament, like I said. Very much looking forward to that on AEW TV, and also was hoping for that great setup to announce Darby versus Jay White on March 13th in Boston at Big Business.
Well, we can continue to celebrate Darby Allin and the career of Sting.